The Coyotes and the Boy by Carlos Gomez Water. One day I went for my evening run. I went into the woods by my home. And as I was running on the path, I saw two coyotes walking towards me. So I stopped running to see what would happen. We finally met, and they stopped and I stopped. We looked at each other. Neither they nor I said a thing, but we communicated in a different way, something like telepathy. I could see an image of me inside their head, and they too could see me inside my head. This is how we communicated. After a few minutes of us communicating, they went on their way and I resumed my run. My parents had a small farm with animals. We had chickens and pigs and goats and a cow. Other farmers around us had problems with coyotes attacking and killing their livestock, but we never had that problem. Somehow I was connected to the coyotes and they to me. Maybe this is why we never had our livestock attacked. One night I built a fire and I was sitting in a chair looking at the fire when all of a sudden two coyotes showed up, and then I knew them. They were the same two I had met a few days earlier when I was in the woods. Once again we looked at each other and we did not say a thing, but we communicated the same way we had before. This time more was revealed to me, and they communicated to me by telepathy and told me they knew who I was, and they also knew my family. They told me I once had been a coyote like them, and that they once had been human like me. Then they told me, we are your grandfathers and we have been protecting your parents' farm. I thanked them and asked them if I could introduce them to my parents, and they told me no. I told them thank you and put out the fire. The next morning I found a baby coyote under one of our mesquite trees. It was hurt. I gave it some milk and I mended its wounds. Unfortunately, 2 days later the baby coyote died. I buried it under the mesquite tree where I found it. Days passed and weeks and months and years, and I never saw those two coyotes again. To this day I have a strong bond with the coyotes, and even though I do not live on a farm anymore, every time I see a coyote, I tell myself, could it be a relative of mine?